So, in last video, I had explained about the languages and their functions and their syntax, how we use them. In this function, I will explain about the key differences between all these three five languages. So, in JavaScript, while these languages share some common feature, they also have you know significant differences that make them suitable for different types of projects. Here's the key differences in typing systems: memory management, compilation, interpretation, object-oriented features, syntax, and standard libraries. So, typing system: static versus dynamic typing. So, what is static typing and dynamic typing? Okay, I will explain you. So, in static typing, languages, you must declare the type of variable before using it. The type of variable is checked at the compile time. So, as I told you in my previous video, that in C, C++, Java, we have to declare a data type before the variable. So, like if you want to create a age, we just use the integer value, integer data type. Integer age is equal to 25 as declared as an integer and cannot change type because it is checked is at compile time. Okay, in static typing, if you try to assign a different value like a string to age, that compiler will throw an error, exception or error. If we put the exception, it will throw an exception, otherwise error. Okay, what is dynamic typing? Dynamic typing is Python, JavaScript, both use dynamic typing. So in dynamic typing, you don't need to declare the type of variable. The type is determined as runtime. Okay, what is runtime? When we run that program, it will check and see like if age value is declared by integer, so it consider as an integer, otherwise it will consider as a string. The variable age can hold an integer at one point and a string at another point. So it will, like Python and JavaScript, we can change the value as well because it is dynamic typing. So whenever you put something on that you know variable, it will assign that value. In some cases it will throw an error as well. I will explain you about this in my next videos for sure. That will put some garbage value or something because we have to empty that variable before putting a new variable, otherwise it will add a garbage value. So next thing is memory management, manual versus automatic. So as you see that we have two different types of memory as well. In C, C++, allocating and deallocating memory, that means you need to manually free up memory when it's no longer needed to avoid leaks. So, as you have heard, the memory leaks, if you're not, you will definitely heard if you are a computer software engineer or studying computer engineering. The memory leaks is like if you put something, uh, if you assign a value, definitely it will create a new new box in the memory and assign some value. But at some point, if you deallocate that memory, and if you are unable to deallocate it at memory and your programs shut, that will be a memory leak and you are no longer accessible to that memory because you have not uh, that will have some junk value or maybe a real value, but you cannot that's a pointer, you cannot assign go to that memory because you lost that location. So in C, if we declare a pointer, a new, we just put a malloc for give the size of that pointer, allocating memory, which is 5. So this is the free pointer. We just freeing that memory. We no longer needed that memory. But if we did not, it will be a garbage or it will be a memory leak. Okay. Then we have a automatic garbage collection, Java, Python, and JavaScript. In these three languages, we have automatic garbage collection. We don't need to free up the memory. So if it tracks if the objects are no longer in use, it free up memory because we don't need to do it manually. Like we have a string name alias, memory is managed automatically by garbage collector. So program does not need to specifically free memory. The garbage collector does this automatically. Okay. Another thing is compilation and interpretation. Okay. Compiled languages is C, C++, Java that converted from source codes into machine codes before compile. They are run, they process happen once the compiled code can be executed multiple times. So once we compile the code, it will create a you know it will create a new file a dot out in C. Is it just like that? We have a C++, we have CPP file and executable file. So we don't need to compile multiple times. We just once we compile that code, we just use it multiple times. C++ Java compile the code like this dot slash my program, and it will run the compiled program. But if you change something on that program, you didn't need to compile that program again. And another end, interpreted languages Python and Java are executed line by line for the interpreter at runtime. The source code is not compiled into machine code beforehand. So if we print like hello, Python is interpreted and run directly. So it will be not work like the other C and C++. It will be compiled one by line. Now what is object oriented features? Implementation C++ add object-oriented feature on top C, including classes, inheritance. It supports both procedural and object-oriented programming. So we have a class of dog, which we have a public member of name, and there's a function called bark, white bark, poof. So whenever someone creates an instance of a dog, irrespective of dog breed, maybe it's German Shepherd or Rottweiler or another breed, it doesn't matter. All dogs have these feature, bark. So if someone wants to a Rottweiler came, it has this public function for sure, bark. Maybe they have more quality, like the Rottweiler can run more faster than a normal dog. uh, German Shepherd has ability to it works as a in police for catch smugglers, or it can sniff the money amount. They have multiple features, but this feature is similar with all dogs. So we just create a class dog and put the function bar. So if there's a Rottweiler, we can inherit that class from the dog class. So Rottweiler has its own feature plus the dog feature. Same something like that. Inheritance is simply like how we can look that word inheritance from your parents, your grandfather. You have some quality from your grandfather, and your father. You have some quality in your father that has shifted to you. That's like the property. The grandfather has property, it will be allocated to all the children's, and then all the children's have that property is your father. They have the once they died or they're alive, they have all the properties of that father has their sons and their daughters. So this is how inheritance works. So hope you understand. If not, you will definitely win my next videos. Java, same like Java, we have the inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So we have the same class dog. We don't need to declare the public string name, void bar, and system printout. In Python, is flexible and support both object-oriented and procedural programming. It is known for its simplicity in implementing code. So we have a class dog. We have a function called selfname.name. It will store a name of that dog, and there's a function called del bark woof. Same thing but different types to do that. In JavaScript is are originally designed for procedural programming but now supports OOP after ES6 classes. So every time when new changes, it will be ES5, ES6, it will implement it and will be added all the features, a new, uh, whenever a new, implementation came in JavaScript, everyone updates their code with the new latest libraries and the features. So we have a class talk, definitely we have a constructor that's saved at name. So every class has two different types of, two must things have, one is constructor and one is destructor. So constructor is basically whenever a class create, the constructor will call, and whenever the class destroy, the destructor call. I will explain this in my next videos for sure. Then we have syntax differences, loops, C++, as I already told you, we have the printf, printout, or cout. In Python, we have simple print and range. In JavaScript, we have console.log. In conditional, we have the if else. In Python, we have if else. Same like the JavaScript, just our print statement is different. In functions, we have integer value. We have the definition for all the functions in Python. In JavaScript, we use the add function. We use the function keyword for the function, and we have the standard libraries and ecosystem. So the standard library C includes function for input output, string handling, memory management, and more. Ecosystem C is more often used for system level programming, so it's a vast ecosystem library for embedded system, operating system, and performance critical applications. In C++ is basically a standard template library which features like vector, list, maps, and algorithms. We have heard the vectors as well. So it is included in the libraries. You don't need to create a vector. You can create a vector, but it already included in system libraries. Ecosystem is used. C++ is mainly used for game development, high performance software, and application require direct hardware manipulation. Java is basically sets of libraries in standardization, API, GUI development. Java is heavily used in enterprise application like ERPs, Android application development, and large scale system. Python standard library includes a model of web applicant, web development, data processing, file handling, machine learning. Python has massive ecosystem, especially in data science, machine learning, like TensorFlow, Panda, web development with Django, and Flask are the two main, web development tools in Python that mainly use. It depends on how your application is made. You can use both these. Flask is mainly used for big applications, and Django is for small applications. Same like with the JavaScript is focused on the web development, which built in like Bootstrap. You can use the Bootstrap, simply include the Bootstrap file, and you can use the HTML, CSS. You don't need to create the HTML and CSS file separately. That's a headache. You can use the Bootstrap. That will be very much easy for you. JavaScript is a vibrant ecosystem. There's a web development frameworks like popular frameworks nowadays, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. All are made on React, and some of them are used on Angular, Node.js for server-side programming. So each language has its own benefits and strengths. Some it depends on how your software need. Like Facebook is a very vast, it is mainly focus on their user interactive, because if the user, the layout looks good, the user definitely use the. If you imagine a Facebook has a layout like a word or something else, nobody used that, because the new features came on the AI came on the Facebook. All these, like in Facebook they are using the Python, AI, React, also the Node. maybe they have some several DBs. They are using MongoDBs, graphical IO. There are so many things they use in you can use multiple languages in the same software depending on the usage. So in this video I had explained about the key differences between all these languages. In next video I will definitely discuss more about the languages, how it works, how it can be used by normal day programming. So stay tuned with us and happy learning. Thank you so much. Bye bye.